Alright, boys and girls, this is video number 13, and we are wrapping up the necklace. We are almost done with our unit of short stories. There are only 5 short stories, and this is our 5th in this unit that we'll be talking about. So basically, some great elements in this story of irony, some great twists at the end, and definitely please don't be watching this video unless you've read the story, The Necklace. This is a summary or wrap-up of The Necklace, so please don't watch this unless you are finished the book. Now, before we started this book, I gave you some inductive learning, which is just something to spark your learning, to make you think things through before you get into the book. And when you got to the end of the story, how just deflating and how terrible you go, no, come on. And at the end, she finds out this whole thing is fake. 10 years of poverty, they work and scrape. And think of what it did to Madame Loisel. We know that, number one, she looks 20 years older. She looks like she's aged twice as much. Her friend doesn't even recognize her in the end. Her hair is ratty. Her friend has a baby, right? And we talked about that yesterday, and the fact that in the prime of your life, that's when you want to be starting to have a family and the things that you value. And now she doesn't have any children. She's just scraped it, but she feels relief. I mean, she really does feel good. And I think our character has learned a valuable lesson here. She has actually made a very big change, a positive character change. And that I think she values her husband. Her husband sticks by her through this whole ordeal. And I think she started to value that now. And, so just the ending of it being fake, though, I don't know, man. I would hope that, she just replaced it, was happy. But she's like, oh, you didn't notice that we switched it? I'm glad, because they were much alike. And she's like, wait, you bought a real necklace? Mine was fake. It wasn't more than a couple $100. And they went out and spent all this money to buy a real diamond necklace that looked like it. So looking at these necklaces that I've got up on the screen with the values, I asked you to take a look at the value of these necklaces and to place a value. This is they will be lettered A, B, C, D, E, like instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is A, B, which did you think was more valuable? C, D, E, and F. Which did you think was the most valuable? Well, take a look at the values here, boys and girls. This one, letter F, was the cheapest. I had a lot of girls in class today going, oh, I like that one the best. Good. That's the point. Beauty doesn't come in cost, right? Just because something's more expensive doesn't make it more beautiful. Really. I mean, there are some cars out there, just because it says Lexus and BMW, it looks just like a Ford, man. It's like, it's seriously. I hope that my daughters, as they're growing up, choose those, you don't need a dress with a designer label. This necklace, many girls like the best, $40. Girls, or boys, those are the girls in class you want to go for a date with, because, hey, $40, they're happy with those pretty, it's beautiful, just the way it is, right? Do we need to go spending that money? And I think I learned an important lesson with earrings with that, too, and we talked about that on the last video. Number C came in second, number 3, so let's take a look at letter C. This one, if you thought this was valuable, well, $200 will get you a necklace like this, and I'm sure they're not real diamonds. It's probably silver and engraved, but probably not real the diamonds, right? Letter B, this one came in third. This one was third in value. We really don't know the size of the picture, the diamond, or what carat it is and not. If it's a real diamond, it's probably pretty small, but if it's big, not going to be a real diamond either for $800. Anyway, now we're getting into probably some real diamonds, right? And that's the whole thing, the whole point of the story. They had no idea that they were fake, and they replaced them with real diamonds. Letter E, so this would be A, B, C, D, E. Letter E, this one here is $6,800. Boy, I don't know what brand name that is, but that's a valuable necklace there. That's some bling there. This is letter D. This one right here, everybody's valuing, oh, that's nothing, look at it. But these are, I'm sure, all real diamonds in here, and again, you can't tell the size. So letter D is valued at $10,250. And the most expensive on the list was letter A, the first one, this one. And again, you really can't tell whether they're real, how big the diamonds are in these pictures, and that's kind of the point I was trying to make in the story here. And just, you don't have to decorate yourself and make yourself ornate in order to be beautiful. And a lot of problems is that, we think about makeup, okay, and applying that kind of stuff. And really, if somebody really loves you, they'll know beauty's within. Okay. I am going to put up our short story summary, and if you don't have a blank chart, you can get one on my web page, on my StarPoint Teacher web page. You can print out a short story summary. They are under resources, okay? So if you want to pause this video for a second and print this out, this is our 5th short story. It is titled The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant. Or on a blank sheet of paper, boys and girls, make a chart. Title, Necklace. Author, Guy de Maupassant, okay? Setting is in Paris, and we talked today in class about the rigid class structure. It's very important. More important than the setting of the location is the time period. And because of that, she's not able to move in class structure, and will never be able to be upper class no matter what effort she puts in. Our characters in this story are Mathilde, that is her first name, it does mention it in the story, or Madame Loisel, Monsieur Loisel, abbreviated with M, and Madame Forestier. She is the one that she borrows the necklace from. The story has two different conflicts in it: man versus self and man versus environment, and that has to do with the social class structure. So as you're here, make sure you're getting this, because this is something that will be on the final exam for this story. So highlight this, put a star next to it when you're copying it down. There are two ways to view this story. The traditional view in this story, the traditional way, and I think the intention of the author, Guy de Maupassant, when he wrote this, is to show that Matilda has an inner conflict. She has a desire for an increased status, and this is a man versus self internal conflict. Okay? But our contemporary view, boys and girls, is a modern view. Let's look at this from a more modern perspective, maybe from a feminist point of view. If you look at this from that situation, we look at Mathilde is conflicting with the French class system. In the American class structure that we have here, we believe in capitalism, and we know that many of our richest people in this country have developed from very poor backgrounds. The developers of Microsoft, and I mean, if you are smart and you can create something new as a business, you can make it and become very wealthy in the United States. It's not possible in France during the 1880s. You are born into poverty or you are born into luxury, and that's the way it is. First class, upper class, 2-3% of the population. Middle class, 10% of the population, and everybody else is in poverty. And Mathilde, is really conflicting with this class system, the desire to want to be better, but you can't. Okay, so that is a man versus environment conflict. That is a contemporary view, and you need to know this for your test, for the unit test. It will ask about that. Because we've been talking about conflicts for every story, but most people don't recognize a man versus environment conflict in this story. That's because it's set up, I think, more as a traditional view, and putting the onus or the blame on Mathilde. And justly so. I'm not saying it's incorrect. I think she was vain. I think that she learned a very powerful lesson. But basically, that's not the only way to look at this story. Okay. Plot summary here. You can be copying this down. Story of Madame Loisel, a middle-class woman. She dreams of being admired and wealthy. Borrows a necklace that she loses, which results in her and her husband living in poverty for 10 years, working to pay it off. Once her youth and her beauty is gone, she finds out it's fake. And that's the harshest thing about the story, is that she loses the best years of her life as a result of her vanity, and it's such a tough lesson. It makes you at the end of the story go, no, and that's great literature. That's the kind of stuff I love to read. Okay, some themes in this story. There are a lot of great themes to learn. Honesty is the best policy, right? If she was honest and just would have come out and said, "I lost this, I will pay you back for everything," she would have only had to have earned $400, $500 in today's money, I'm saying. When we look at francs back in the 1880s, francs are pennies, but the francs in 1880s are kind of comparable to dollars today, I would think, she says the dress was a $400 dress. That'd be a beautiful, very expensive dress. $10,000 necklace, very ornate and diamond necklace. So I kind of compare it that way. But she could have just told the truth about it and avoided all this conflict. Honesty is the best policy, boys and girls. If you make a mistake, address the person you made the mistake with like an adult, and you will find the repercussions will probably be a lot easier to handle. A very important lesson to learn. One should be content with what one has. That's been drilled into you since we started this yesterday, so I hope you understand that theme. And vanity has a big price. Don't be vain. Some literary terms I want to talk about. Alliteration I mentioned in class. I love the way she's describing what she dreams about. And as she's dreaming, the alliteration on the S, the small, stylish, scented sitting rooms. It just makes me dream. It makes me smell. I can almost smell potpourri when somebody says the small, stylish, scented sitting rooms. It's great. That's called alliteration. Literary tool. The author does this on purpose. Next, I want to talk about irony. The best irony in this story is the fact that her desire to become first class is exactly what put her in poverty and third class. So ironic. Her desire to be that upper class put her in the third class. It was that action, that want. And as we put on that fake facade and try to be somebody we're not, the result can often be debt, right? So that's just an ironic situation. Love it. Beautiful irony. The irony at the end of getting the necklace is fake. That is beautiful situational irony. Situational irony. What an ironic situation to come in and be not recognized because you're so old, dirty, and haggard looking. And we get great situational irony. But last but not least, boys and girls, as you're writing down, symbolism, the necklace and the case. I am going to focus on this right now. And if you are smart, if you're intelligent and you really read this story and you can pick it up, you're going to get the symbolism because this is really cool. And the author does this on purpose. The necklace stands for itself as a necklace. It's really literally a necklace in the story. She wears it, she loses it. I get it. But the necklace is symbolic. It stands for itself and something more. What else does a necklace stand for? It's fake, right? The necklace is fake. It looks real pretty, but the necklace is fake. Who does it stand for? Who? I'm giving you a hint here. There's only 3 characters, guys, right? Madame Loisel is fake. She's a phony, right? So the necklace that she's wearing is actually symbolizing her. It symbolizes her. It represents her as well, that she's fake. But here's the best part. This is the most beautiful thing. Not only do we have a necklace that's symbolic in here, we have a case. As Madame Forestier lets her borrow the necklace, she gives it to her in a case of a fine jeweler. On the case is the name of the jeweler, and this is where they go back to find the necklace. And the guy's like, I sold the case, but I didn't sell the necklace. That should have been a glaring warning, right? The case, he sold a case to them. So she puts her necklaces, her fake necklaces, Madame Forestier, in real cases to make them look real to other people, right? So this is the best part. The fake necklace is wrapped up in a real case to make it look better. If the necklace symbolically represents Madame Loisel, what does the case represent? Think. Pause the video. Get an answer first before I give it to you. What does Madame Loisel get wrapped up in to make herself look better in this story? Getting it? The case is symbolically also representing this dress. She gets a dress from her husband, spends $400 on it, right? Gets a real case that makes her look really real, but deep down inside, she's fake. Okay, she's fake and she's wrapped up in this really beautiful dress that is way too expensive for her. Okay, so anyway, beautiful symbolism in the story too, and I love the way if the necklace is symbolic representing something, then also the case is symbolically representing something. This reminds me a lot of the Scarlet Ibis, the symbolism in there. And the ibis represents Doodle, the bleeding tree represents the narrator. And that symbolism of those two things representing together, again, the necklace and the case with Madame Loisel and the dress. Okay? Thanks for watching the video, boys and girls. As long as you have your short story summary completed here, and you can just pause and rewind, complete the short story summary, you're all set to go for class tomorrow. I wish you all a nice night, and thanks for watching the video.